Salute, salute. Grand rising, everybody. Thank you for coming in. Thank you for being here. Come on in, come on in. Hit that like button if you haven't already. Tap it, tap it. What they say, the two hard pushes. I don't know what the update on the YouTube for the phones are, but whatever it is, just if you could just support the channel with the like button, that would be greatly appreciated. Salute CX. Thank you for being here. Thank you for coming through. I'm hoping everybody is being productive and shout out to Miss Yo Thoughts. Say make something move. I hope we making something move today, right? Hope you got up with both feet on the ground on the right side of the bed. You woke up grateful. You woke up thankful. You woke up appreciative. You woke up kind. You woke up being willing to do a kind deed for someone today so we can get out of ourselves for a moment, so we can get out of our own way and out of our own heads for a moment, because it's always somebody that's going to be doing worse off than you. And no matter how bad and bleak it looks, this too shall pass. This too shall pass. Grand rising to knowledge seeker. Thank you for coming through. Kelvin H is in the building. Grand rising, grand rising. Listen, we're going to get right into it. If you come in, watch the replay. If you're coming in late, if you come in and you're watching the replay, this is going to be a live where I'm going to. There was a story that really kind of resonated. When I say resonate, it struck me as being a boom of a voice for what is really going on in our community, relating and the correlation between mental illness and the effects of social media on that mental illness spectrum, right? And I think one of the things that resonated with me was the age of this couple that has been on TikTok, and they've amassed a pretty decent sized following, and it has ended in tragedy. And out of all of the little resources and clips and trying to delve in to try to get more of a full picture or a full story, there doesn't seem to be one until I went to go look through their TikTok page. And that's where the story came in from, right? So we're just going to delve right into it to get you familiar with the story. And then we're going to kind of bind everything together and offer some possible solutions or some preventative measures, right? When it comes to being in toxic relationships, recognizing that there's some mental instability before you get knee deep into relationships. Mental health is a real thing, and though I think a lot of people use it as excuses, or they misappropriate mental illness with other characteristics that could be relevant and more prominent than mental illness or different. It kind of seems like sometimes it gets all thrown in the same bowl, right? So, when it comes to us actually dissecting this, I'm gonna, like I said, we're gonna start with the just a little bit of a story as to how we got here, and then we'll go from there.
A popular TikToker documented his life and relationship with his girlfriend.
You want to marry me?
Yeah. Are you asking me to marry you right now?
You gonna marry me?
Yes. We're married.
Okay. I'm just playing, but I never married your sorry.
So he said, I'm just playing. I'll never marry your sorry ass. So she took a ring off of the right hand and put it on the left hand. And just, kind of ran with his statement, his opening statement. And he said, no. He said, I'm just playing. I'll never marry your sorry ass. Let's continue.
I love you though. I love you. I like to wake up in the morning, roll over and look at you and be like, damn.
But now he's behind bars accused of shooting her in the face.
When we look at that individual, those individuals in the social media posts, they post again the highlights of what's going on. Oh, we're happy here. We're going on dates and doing things of that nature. And you just don't know what's going on behind the scenes.
Ladarius Brownlee, known online as Dino, chronicled his romantic life and relationship with his girlfriend, Saida Hashimi, known online as Zara. The duo, under the username of Dino and Zara, raked more than 150,000 followers on TikTok, and some of their videos massed millions of views. While the two appeared as a doting couple, trouble was brewing behind the scenes, as investigators say a heated argument after a holiday celebration would lead to tragedy. According to the Flower Mound Police Department, the shooting stemmed from a heated argument as the couple were walking home from a 4th of July Independence Fest held in a local park. The fight reportedly turned physical. Then they got into their car, driving less than 3 miles away from the park. When Brownlee stopped the car, he pulled out a tan Glock firearm from the driver's door pocket and allegedly shot Zara in the face above her right eye.
I mean, anytime you hear a story such as that, it's going to be just astounding to where you are just taken aback that any person can be charged with such a heinous crime. That is something that is definitely intentional. So there's nothing that we could say that wouldn't be intentional about that action. And so it's definitely something that takes me off guard.
So he took a Glock out of the vehicle, whatever altercation they had on July 4th, and he shot her in the face. Now, I don't know a lot of their history, like as far as their relationship, other than what they have put on social media. And of course, just like most influencers, they're going to select and choose what they want people to see of their real life or lack thereof, whatever they decide. But the problem is, I don't know, I'm just old school. Why not just leave? They both at this point have social media presence. So even though collectively they have amassed a following, people, they move and shift all the time. Circumstances change, life events change, people change, their needs change. Why not just move around? Why not just shift? Why is it that you feel that it warrants for you to unalive somebody or to, I don't know what to me, it seems to be intentional that that's what his goal was, but I can't say that for sure. We won't know what was going through that young man's head, but something happened to where he was able to shoot someone in the face, to make the decision, whether it was in the heat of the moment, whether it was accrued, built up anger, whatever the case is, he was able to shoot this woman in the face. Now, the thing that really kind of got me was that he stayed. So the police were called and he did not leave the scene. He stayed at the scene, which was a little bit of a surprise. And in addition to that, he also confessed that that's what he did. Again, We don't know what goes on in these people's brains and in their heads when they make decisions such as this. But to me, something went wrong. Something went terribly wrong. And so we're going to go to a couple of little snippets of their videos. And I want to share some of the context that I saw when I was looking at the videos. And then that will give you a little more insight, because it's going to tell a story. It's going to tell one whether they intended it to or not. When a man is disrespectful, and in this, I'm using this situation because, as we know, women can be super disrespectful and tend to be super disrespectful to men just as much. But for the sake of this story and this situation, it seems as if the young lady was a lot more invested and a lot more authentic into the relationship than the gentleman was, right? Salute to you, EJ, Grand Rising. Thank you for being here. Hearts and kisses. Yes. Okay, so we'll play a little bit more of this to give you context of the legalities of what happened, but then we're going to backtrack and do a couple of little snippet videos. Again, like I said, fair use is in effect. Let me put my banner up. Hold on, y'all. Give me a second. Okay.
When officers arrived at the scene, they discovered the 28-year-old lying on the ground outside of the car. Brownlee was still on the scene when officers arrived and arrested without incident.
Shooting someone really at any point is something that takes a lot of gumption from any person, right? But when you are right at the person's face, you're seeing them eye to eye, having eye contact, that takes more than anything in the world. Again, we go back to intentionality with something like that. And so this individual in this particular case was charged with aggravated assault with a deadly weapon. I'm surprised he wasn't charged with attempted murder. Honestly, because it's just that it rises to that level, and I wouldn't be surprised if they increased it to that charge.
I was going to say it is very likely, because the current state of the young lady is that she is still in the land of the living, but she's not doing well. And if she does recover, it will be a long road to her recovery. And so I'm sure that the authorities are probably waiting to see what kind of trajectory her health goes in before they finalize charges, whether they add, increase or decrease. So there seems to be a lot going on here. But I do want to, again, this is the video, that snippet that was in the clip that we just saw, but I want to see it in its totality from the TikTok video that they posted. Hold on.
You want to marry me?
Yeah. Are you asking me to marry you right now?
You gonna marry me?
Yes. We're married.
Okay. I'm just playing though. I never marry your sorry ass.
I hope that hurt.
I love you though.
No, you don't.
I love you.
No, you don't.
I like to wake up in the morning, roll over and look at you and be like, damn! Who the
Damn
fuck
what?
is this?
Because I'm so fine.
Because you're so damn fine.
You don't deserve me.
I don't deserve
You
you.
don't deserve me. I'm over here, literally. What female you know actually sits there and picks the grapes before they wash it for their man? Don't even name a bitch.
So he leads with disrespect, whether he plays it off as a joke or not. I thought that was disrespectful. And then he said, I love you though. So you lead with disrespect and then you tell her you love her. And she knows, because she said No, you don't. No, you don't. Now, I don't know what how their relationship culminated to this point, but either she's trying to change his mind or she wants to yield a different outcome and think that she can do enough, and be fine enough in order to get him to do so. And again, I don't know a lot of the history of how long they've been together, which to me would play a factor, and I would be able to kind of, speak more on that. However, she said, what other female do you know will sit up here and take care of you like I do, where I take your grapes off of the vine before I wash them and then serve them to you? To a man that just said, I will never marry your sorry ass, but I do wake up in the morning and be like, damn, because you fine. You fine. Now, what if something happened and she ended up being physically, well, actually, she's there now, but what would happen if she were to need him medically and she was unable to look and appear to be the way that she is in this video? Then how would he respond? Because that's what he led with. He led with, you're fine. Well, she suggested it. He agreed, you're fine, right? But she said, you don't love me. And so she's not blind to the circumstances, and definitely a lot more informed than their audience is as to the true dynamic of their relationship. So let's continue.
Don't even name a bitch.
You just sit
Because I
here.
know that's
You
a
just
damn
sit here
lie.
and ask.
Because I know it's gonna be a lie. You ain't never had a female do this type of shit. Not sit here and pick them one by one for you before I wash them.
Okay, then.
I want to make sure you eat good.
Okay.
I don't want you to play with your food. I want you to eat your food.
Okay.
Them other bitches that you playing with your food.
Okay.
They had you playing with that shit. They
Okay.
don't know what real woman status is.
They don't know what it is.
They don't know what
You
it
gonna
is.
show them?
I'm gonna show them.
You gonna show them?
I'm over here showing a lot of girls.
Yeah, you showing their ass, ain't Pick them motherfucking grapes for your man.
Literally, pick it for your man. If your man's hungry, make his plate. My man don't ever gotta make his own plate.
That's a lie. That's a lie. You just
That's
made me. You just made me make my own plate the other day.
No, I didn't.
Yes, I did.
I hate when you sit there and lie on.
Okay, I'm just playing. Damn.
Exactly. I hate when you sit there and be lying.
You be lying on me.
No, I do not be lying on you. You do be cheating.
I be cheating.
Yeah.
Okay, now we back on this cheating shit.
I'm just kidding. He wouldn't be alive if he did.
So he said, now you're back on this cheating stuff, right? So that seems to be a point of contention in their relationship. And some of the videos that I went through definitely portrayed that it has garnered a lot of insecurity on her part. So even though you're fine, you're still not secure in your relationship because you're not the only fine woman in the midst. They're everywhere, right? So what is it that separates you? And my thing is have I always, like, there was a time where I had her point of view without marriage, without the idea of being a wife, right? But getting all of the wifely duties. I've never been one to really just be a wife without being a wife. But I will say that I've given more than I should have given not being a wife. And once you do that, once you give, and my dad used to say, or the elders say, why buy the cow when you can get the milk for free? And I remember the first time my dad said that, I was like, whoa, yeah, okay, I got you. But that had to be, I had to learn that. That had to be taught. And so I don't judge her, and I don't even judge him, because people can only do to us what we allow them to do, right? In real life. And so she is giving and she is doing wifely duties with no commitment. Just because you may cohabitate together and do some TikTok videos together does not mean that he is due to get all that a wife should get. And that's just my personal opinion, right? So, like I said, she definitely understands the dynamic. He doesn't hide it. She just, in my opinion, thinks that she can change his mind. And it really kind of shocks me because it lets me know that there's something brewing based on that outcome. A lot of people aren't going to see this. I'm sure many did not see this coming because there are people that can actually live with disrespect and it becomes the norm. It becomes status pro quo, right? Quo pro, however you say it. I know what it means. So let's go to the next video. And this one here really gave me insight as to, again, when we're talking about wifely duties and giving everything that you have to give to a relationship when it's not reciprocated or you're not getting the same in return. So this gentleman has a child, a young child from a previous relationship. And this video actually shows how vested she is and how she bonds with his son or with his child. I can't play the audio because of copyright. It comes with music, but I definitely, the visual, you will get the message and you will get what you're supposed to get or what it's intended for you to get through the visual. Welcome, Julia. Grand rising to you. Salute, and salute to Oliver Green Apartments. Thank you for being here. So we are talking about, in the grand scheme of things, mental health and how it is affected by social media and to what degree. However, we are using this particular situation as the leading example for this live because it is actually what triggered the topic for me in order to, address this topic. So this relationship between this couple, they're influencers, they're TikTok influencers, have a pretty large following, and they have built this and created this following dually. So the both of them in a relationship, they put their relationship, at least certain aspects of it, on display. And then recently he decided to shoot her in the face after an argument. And so I'm curious as to what triggered that. How did we get here? And what story does their page and does their TikTok video show? And so here's the visual of him and his son. And then it's going to show the relationship between his girl and his son, which appears not to be the biological mother of his child. And again, I can't play the video audio because of the copyright. But she is definitely, she has a relationship with this baby. Look how comfortable he is. Look how they bond. Look how vested she is, not just in the relationship, but as a family unit. So I wanted to show that to give context because that matters. That matters that you already have, we live in a culture where everybody is so easily thrown away and discarded. It's like, no, I can't get with a man with no kids, especially around the age that they are. They look relatively young, right? And I can't get with that. I can't do that. No, I need a man with no kids, or I need a woman with no kids. And then this child is young. So I'm sure that there is still some residue from the baby mama dynamic relationship with him and the child. The child's young. You already know how that story usually plays out. I don't know. I can say allegedly. I don't know for a fact. But you come on now. We know that there has to be some up and down dynamics going on in this relationship, because if nothing else, the age of the child, all of this is fresh and new. And so we have to take that into consideration. But I'm going to go straight to the next video. And this one disturbed me. And this one also gave me more insight and clarification on exactly what he thinks of her, right? So just to give a little context, from what I understand, reading the comments in some of the videos, that she is the primary breadwinner. So I don't know if she had her own page prior. I'm not really sure about how all of that went down, but she has enough financial, or it appears that she has enough financial means to be able to really treat this young man. And his response really kind of floored me. So without further ado, let's go ahead and play it.
Yeah. Somebody love, man.
Barely.
It barely.
Barely.
It barely.
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 Just in case you decide to eat the
Molly. Oh yeah.
He said, decide to eat your tamales. Yeah.
So he buys her a Cartier, she buys him, I'm sorry, a Cartier watch and a diamond chain. And right at the very beginning of the video, they are exchanging expletives. So she's shooting up a bird. He's mumbling something to her that, yielded that type of reaction. I don't know about anybody else, but that's not how I usually receive or give gifts to someone that I say I love. So that kind of, alarmed me, or at least was brought to my attention initially. So I know the volume seems to be a little low on that. I'm trying to turn it up a little bit. Let's see what happens.
Why you look like this? You want to try it on?
Yeah.
Okay.
Let me try it.
Hold
Because
on.
I want one, but I want two tones. Because I like the squared face better.
I can't even see the.
I hate you, dude. My turn.
Yeah. Somebody love me, man.
Barely.
It barely.
Barely.
It barely.
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 All right, that's enough of that. So again, this is telling me a story. This is saying that this is the normal dynamic of their relationship. This is how they communicate. This is where they have met each other in the middle, right? Comfortable enough to put it on social media and give content, and basically make people aware that this is where they are. This is how they deal with each other, and whether they feel like it acquires subs, followers, or whatever the terminology is. This is where they are. And I'm just trying to understand, okay, so you have over 150,000 followers. which, you know, we get in the millions when it comes to these social media platforms, depending on how far your influence and your impact reaches. However, 150,000 followers is nothing to sneeze at. And this is the example of your relationship and how you are displaying it as being normal to the world. And because you're young, your demographic of audience is going to also be young. When you have single moms, you have dads out of the home, and I'm talking as, you know, a collective, not every situation is the same. And then you have the moms that are working that are not able to be at home and present, ever present with the children throughout their upbringing. Then what happens is this generation is going to look outside of the home for guidance, for examples, for direction, for their norm, or whatever their new norm is going to be. Salute to Strawberry Shortcake. It is so good to see you. Greetings. It's good to see you. We got Rachel Banks in the building. Thank you for being here. I appreciate y'all. Listen, thank you, right? So we have just this example of a relationship that lacks respect, mutual respect. It lacks common decency. It yields contention because whether they laugh it off or not, when you're doing over 1,000 videos or thousands of videos with this type of content, you think that feelings aren't going to be affected somewhere along the line, that's not going to be something that definitely evolves over time and creates problems. In this case, I think it did. I think it did, whether they know how to communicate, whether they had any emotional intelligence to be able to kind of come to a medium to be able to communicate about these things, maybe change the behavior, or at least at the very least let one another know that hurts my feelings when you do. This is how that makes me feel. This is why I feel that it is disrespectful. At the very least, until we can change the behavior, let's change it on camera. Let's put out more of a suitable example, because we do have impact, because we do have influence. And when you don't address the elephants in the room, the elephant eventually will sit on you. And now you're not going to know what to do. You're not going to know how to move. You're not going to know how to cope, how to address things, leading with respect, changing the behavior with respect in mind. And I know that I sound like an old head. That's okay. I'm good with that. Because like I said at the beginning of the stream, that was never me per se, but I can relate to her. There were some decisions that I absolutely made in relationships when I was younger that I would never make now. So I'm not here to judge. I'm just here to bring light to, or at least motivate the conversation or provoke the thought process that just because people have a lot of followers and they are there to put some of their business onto social media platforms, first of all, a majority of it's fake. They're not going to show you the real deal. They're not going to show you the most embarrassing parts, the most damaging parts, anything they think will threaten their following, or it will change the narrative that they are trying to portray and push. And when you have a whole two generations of children being addicted to social media, addicted to technology, addicted to social media devices, or tablets, computers, phones. Everybody's got a phone now, it seems. It's a breeding ground for a lot of fakeness, a lot of narratives, a lot of false impressions. People are not, most of the time, they're going to show you what they consider to be the best side of them, not going to be vulnerable. Some people will. And if for some people it works, they garner millions of subs and followers. But for the most part, even those you got to be skeptical about, because once that narrative has been displayed and set, guess what? It is going to be held, and they are going to do what they can in order for it to remain as such. Because now the internet is forever. And if you come out and you're being discovered as to being dishonest, to be fake, to be a liar, to be deceptive, to be multitude of things that doesn't align with the initial narrative that you set out to push, now you're going to have those followers and those subs lose faith in your story, which means in turn they're going to lose faith in you, and it is going to affect your bottom line. All of it's interconnected. So we have to be really, really mindful and very aware. So I want to really quickly, I'm not going to make this a long live. I know there's a lot going on in these YouTube streets, but that has nothing to do with me at this point, because at the end of the day, that gets the views, but we need healing. We need some type of, we need something different other than just the constant back and forth. It's good for the moment, but in about 2 or 3 years, we got real life shit going on out here. We just had a president that was, a former sitting president that was attempted to be unalived. And that was a real situation. Now, at first, the first thing I thought, I was like, I'm not trying to be a conspiracy theorist. However, some don't seem right. It just seems like it's too surreal, right? But as time goes on and as things come out, there are definitely issues that we have that should garner a lot more attention than superficial things that at the end of the day, they don't matter. They don't provide us with any information on how we're going to weather these storms. And if you think we're not getting ready to be going through another storm or be tested, you're sadly mistaken. We are definitely going to be tested. Are we going to be ready? And psychologically and mentally, first, it's the first step. Because if your mind ain't right, it doesn't matter what is going on around you. It starts within. We have to be mindful about where we are and where our mental health is. If you have children, if you have families, if you have a core support system, immediate family, distant family, really close friends that you always deem as family, anybody that you care about, that you invest in, that you love on, that depends on you, that you depend on them on any level. How is your mental health? Who do you go to for guidance? What sources do you reach for instruction, for wisdom, for understanding, for knowledge, for information? We are living in an informational age. There's information everywhere. We are saturated with information. How do you decipher if any of it's true? If any of it's pertinent to what you got going on? If any of it pertains to your children? Because it starts with us as the parents. We are the first source of contact and the most impressionable when it comes to our children. What are you teaching your children? And better yet, what are you displaying to your children? What are you showing your children? How are you living? What decisions are you making? How is your mouth? Do you use it as a weapon? Do you weaponize it to exalt yourself and to belittle those around you to stay in control? Are you a narcissist? Do you only care about you at the end of the day, no matter who you're around, no matter what your situation is? Because narcissists will do what they have to do in order to stay narcissistic. They don't care who they hurt. They don't care who they damage. They show no remorse. They're unremorseful, in my opinion. Right? So, again, I'm not going to make this a long live. I appreciate everybody coming through. Once again, I have a feeling nobody is going to hit the link, but just in case, I'm going to paste it anyway. You just never know. Maybe somebody needs to get something off their chest. Maybe just they have something to add to the conversation. I'm always open for that. I don't know it all. I don't want to know it all. It's too much pressure. I just know what I know based off of my personal experience, right? Mental health is real, y'all. It is real, and it is cyclical. It goes in a cycle. Water seeks its own level. You will adapt to your surroundings. I have to be super intentional and careful about what gets most of my attention. And when I feel like I'm starting to wane, or when I feel like I'm starting to be unduly influenced, then I just make adjustments. I make tweaks. Am I perfect? By no means am I perfect. I don't want to be perfect in such a fallen world. Too much pressure, too much responsibility, and it's not possible, right? But I'm concerned because I have children, and a lot of us have grandchildren, nieces, nephews, cousins, people's children that we take under our wings. We may mentor, we may care for. This world doesn't end with just us, at least not to my knowledge, right? And so with that being said, y'all, I appreciate you coming through. I don't think anybody's going to hit the link. If you are just coming in toward the end, please catch the replay at your convenience. Tap that like button if you don't mind. I appreciate you. For those that may not be aware, I am now monetized when it comes to the memberships and the super chats. So thank you in advance. I will be probably in the next couple of weeks, I will start doing member only lives. Even if I only have a handful of members, that's fine. I want to definitely share some things with my members exclusively for them, to show my appreciation for you becoming a member. I don't care if it's just a couple dollars a month. They add up, especially when you become members to several different channels. And just for my personal experience, I definitely want to give you, I don't want you feeling slighted if you decide to become a member on Miss Akimi's channel, right? So greetings to you, Phoenix Rising. Thank you for coming through. Thank you. And yeah, so with that being said, I'll be seeing y'all in a chat soon somewhere. You know, there's a lot going on in these YouTube streets, and yeah, so spread some love, some light today. Do a good deed for someone. Get out of yourself and be grateful. Be grateful for whatever your situation is. Please be grateful, because it's when we become ungrateful where we start to believe that we don't deserve better, and then whatever we believe will manifest. So when you're grateful for the small things, guess what? Then God will bless you with the big things. And with that being said, I appreciate y'all. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Much love to y'all. And I'm out.